Warning, this episode will contain mature and explicit content. You have been warned. Now let's get our first on.
Is that whiskey I see?
Somebody's gonna be like, what am I listening to? Like, they're gonna be real confused right off the bat.
Is this the right podcast?
Well, yeah, this is like Once Upon a Time. It's on HBO, so it's kind of like Game of Thrones.
Skinamax.
See, we connected it together.
Alright, welcome to episode 28 of Once Upon a Captain Swan. And this is our much anticipated, highly requested, super X-rated Smut fan fiction episode.
Smut Fest 2017.
Oh yeah!
So who we got here today? We got myself, Sarah. We got JMO.
Hi.
We got Lindsay.
Hey.
Rachel.
Hello.
And our special guest, SassySazzles. Sarah's back.
I'm back!
Yeah, mama.
So we posted a poll on Twitter asking which fanfiction episode you wanted us to do next, and you all overwhelmingly voted for Smut. Not surprised in the slightest.
I was actually really shocked. I mean, you know, this is a fairy tale TV show.
This
and
is a family show, guys. You are disgusting.
No, you know what it is? It's that we don't get enough, so we're all so starved for any kind of physical affection from this TV show. So we just gravitate towards Smut all the time.
They're
That's my
also
theory.
just, Colin and Jen are just super, super pretty people, and I think everyone just wants to see them bang.
And that
It's
chemistry
true.
down.
Chemistry. Not enough banging.
So why do we think we are all so obsessed with reading these type of fics?
I think it's like what Sarah just said. Just the fact that it's on such an early time slot on network TV, that we don't see like Game of Thrones kind of Sex in the City, full on sex, I guess, and we're starved for it.
And again, as you said, you know, Colin and Jen have got absolute brilliant chemistry. I mean, from the get-go, like, I was one of the people who shipped them straight away because I was like, that is chemistry. Gonna have to do something about that because that is gonna bother me. And it's still happening. It's like, come on, give me more. I'm thirsty. I need it.
And I think, too, the first season was so much more scandalous than the following season.
It really was.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean, we had the David, or maybe it wasn't David, David's twin and Jack. You know, we had a lot of implied things.
Regina and Graham.
Yeah, for God's sakes, we had Jamie Dorian on it, and now he's 50 Shades of whatever he is.
There's that scene
They
with
took
like
that
Jen
away
in a
from
bra. I mean,
The bridge under the
Yeah.
bra. Yes.
And now everybody's like buttoned up. You can't get Mary Margaret out of a pea coat to save her life, you know? It's just like, God, can this get any more G-rated?
Where is the
I
lie?
can't handle it.
it's like,
Like,
they
they
brought
keep putting
Frozen
more
on,
clothes on.
and the show got super like G-rated.
Yeah. We don't have any more dirty one-liners.
No, we don't even get really that much of like sexy Ruby anymore.
And
Yeah.
it's season 6, and Captain Swan still has not banged yet.
And also, on the sofa in the jackets, I know, like, it was quite cute hearing, like, Killian with a leather jacket kink and all that, but at the end of the day, I want them out of the jackets, so always in their jackets. Surely, you know, if they're inside, do we not have central heating or what? Come on, take it off.
Or do we not have seasons? Like, in the beginning of the seasons, we had seasons. Like, there was fall and spring and all this other stuff. Now it's just winter all the time. It's always winter.
Winter
Like,
has
post-
come.
Even when it's summer.
Post Elsa, they've been stuck in one season, and it's kind of ridiculous.
It's kind of ironic, too.
And they wear scarves all the time. Henry and that damn scarf. I know I've said it 100 times, but they act like it's winter all the time, and I hate it.
I'm sure they hate it, too, when they start filming in summer, and they're wearing
Yeah.
coats and leather jackets, and let them show some skin, damn it.
Want to see the skin.
Looking at you, Colin, you hairy bastard.
But that is why we read fics.
Hate that.
But and also Killian's shirts quite highly buttoned nowadays. That's sad.
It's a trend.
Where that beautiful chest hair go?
Where in the world is Colin's chest hair?
I'm gonna change my URL to where has the chest hair gone?
Oh.
Justice for chest hair. Forget Will Scarlet. Justice for chest hair.
Screw Will Scarlet. Justice
Well,
for
it's not
chest hair and
either,
forearm.
no. It looks good on your show.
Like, it's sad.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's so funny.
All right. We're going to go around and we are all going to talk about our favorite or one of our favorite smutty fics that we've read, kind of considering this to be a little bit of an extended version of our weekly recommendations. So, JMO, you want to go first?
This comes as no surprise. I love me some Xerxes Rises. And the one that will always stick with me, and probably stick with a lot of you
Everyone
out there,
else.
yeah, is 6. That fucking fic. I cannot tell you. I think it was one of you guys kept telling me to read it. And then when I finally sat down and read it, I was like, I need a shower after each chapter. Not even just the whole thing. I just need a shower after each chapter just to cool myself down. The way she balances all of that description, it's fucking amazing. And I can't even form complete sentences.
It's
for
also
how much
so angsty.
Angsty.
It is.
That's my two favorite things.
Because if you haven't read it, it is an adultery fic because Emma is married, and then she goes off to this work conference and she meets Killian, and they embark on this illustrious affair through these 6 chapters, and it is so well done. It's so brilliantly written.
And each chapter is a different city.
Yeah.
So it's a different city on this sort of convention tour, and it's a different encounter, and it's just brilliant.
Oh my god.
So we
Totally
talked about
off
this fic
topic,
the last episode I was on. This came up again. Has anybody seen the movie that was based on since then?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, it's based on a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So you should watch the movie because it's great. Also, the fanfic is great too, but it's based on a movie.
I read that fic recently, for the first time. I just read it because you guys were like, read it. I'm like, okay. And all the angst. It was so painful and so hot, but then painful. And it was just like a back and forth of angst and sex and pain and crying.
It's just so good.
Lindsay?
Okay, so asking what my favourite smut fic is like asking me, what my favourite
Drink is.
Wine is, yeah. Wine. I don't know. Seriously, it's ridiculous. But I'm currently reading. It's a multi-chapter. It's called The Villa by Lena Rift. Basically, it's set off during Camelot time, and when I call him Liam Gauguin because it's but yeah, King Arthur is in Storybrooke, and he's coming after Emma and try and take her magic and get obviously the sword. So, but Emma's no longer the Dark One or anything. But my mind's gone now. But so they escape to New York because Killian gets a flat in New York and stuff, but it's not enough because Arthur is much more powerful in this story, and Emma used her magic to take them to this villa. It's a safe place for them, and it's a safe place where we just bang for a bit, and to escape everything, and it becomes a constant in the fan fiction. So whenever things get too much, we escape to this villa, have some sexy times, and then go back to the action. also shout out, it's also Killian's dad is in this, and when everyone, he's like, no, but he's really good, right? So he's like kind of someone from like the underworld, and he can charm everyone, and the way like whenever he appears, people just like swoon and stuff, and it's really good. And yeah, I've explained it really badly, but it's.
Are you sure that's just not Adam himself?
Well, I think that's what it was based on, because
Yeah.
I know I've met Adam and I swooned.
All right, Rachel.
I've been saving this fic to talk about for a while. I wanted to make it a rec at one point, but I'm like, no, I need to save this for if and when we do a Smut episode. And it is called White Light on a Black Sea by Taran T, but it's like Taarnat. I don't know. But I'm a sucker for pirate, princess, capture, kidnapping, whatever, enchanted forestness. And the summary is a Captain Swan story with a black sails twist. Princess Emma is on her way to her wedding when her ship is attacked by the Jolly Roger. Captured by the ruthless pirates and miles from home, she is subject to the mercy of handsome and dangerous Captain Hook. And it is so good. It's like dark Hook, like really dark Hook, and I'm here for it. I love it so much.
Good. That's always like my go-to when I
Yeah,
need something.
and it's not finished, and I think she abandoned it. I don't know where she went, but I still reread everything she posted.
I think she updates like once every like 8 months or something. Like it's.
It's been like 2 years.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, I know. It's been that long. But it's still my favorite. Like when someone wants a good, dirty Captain Swan fic, I'm like, this is what you need to read.
Like, I remember that, like, the very first fic I ever read, Captain Swan wise, was Beyond the Horizon. And then I think right after that was White Light on the Black Seas. So I was very into the pirate princess capture very early on.
Yeah, they came out. There was a couple of them that came out around the same time.
Yeah, but big on Tumblr. Like you'd go on Tumblr, and those fics were like the main fics out there.
Yeah, and I think they all have like something of their own. Like I don't think of them as very similar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They all have they all go very different directions.
They do.
So I had the unfortunate thing where I got a new phone yesterday and therefore lost my entire reading list of fics. So I will simply rec the one that I most recently read, thanks to Rachel, who suggested this, and it's called Dirty Breathing by Kiss Me Like a Pirate. And
so good.
It's so good. It's not necessarily a trope that I thought I was going to enjoy. It wasn't something I normally thought that I would read, but it's turned out to be so good. So it's AU, modern AU. Emma is working at a strip club to try to save up money so that she can move to the east and start a new life. And this mysterious man comes into the club and basically is like really drawn to her, and he decides he's like, I will pay you money if you come spend the weekend with me. And she's like, well, okay. So she thinks it's just going to be like a weekend of just banging. And then it turns out that he's like really drawn to her and super interested, and becomes this really deeper connection, and she's, trying to pull away, and it's super angsty, and it's so good.
I'm getting a very Pretty Woman vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit. Mm-hmm.
A lot darker though, I would think.
Yeah, it's dark.
Especially like towards as it goes on.
Yeah.
Someone link my ass for real.
I got you.
It's so good. Oh, I love that one so much.
I mean, I read it.
That was
all
probably
in
like one
sitting.
of the first. Yeah. That was probably one of the first like modern AU ones I started reading.
Yeah, I never used to like modern AUs. Like I used to be quite against it, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, when I first started out with fic, it was always like 100% Neverland or Enchanted Forest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then that finally started to lead to the modern AU. Sarah?
So I have one. It's called One Hell of a Lover by Obulette14, and
I love stuff.
it's a Halloween themed one where
I know what
Killian is
you're
dressed
talking
up like Dr. Frankenfurter from the Rocky Horror Picture Show,
I need
It's
to
so
read
and
this
good.
instantly.
Emma is a black swan, and she's a bartender at a bar, and he sings karaoke dressed like Dr. Frankenfurter, and then they bang. So I recommend it. It's
I
so
haven't read
good.
this one.
clever.
I've
plus-
read her other stuff, but I haven't read that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
need to
Me
read
too.
this.
It's
yeah.
so good.
I think it's cute and it's funny and dirty and yeah. So anyway,
As much as I like angsty smut stuff, like I like when there's a little bit of a humor in it too, because it shows like how comfortable they are with their relationship.
yeah. I mean, if you think about Killian and fishnet stockings, I think that definitely has some humor as well as sexiness, but also some
Yep.
humor. So
I bet his legs would look really good in some. Does he shave his legs?
I don't remember. It's been so long since I've read it.
Can't
I'm
shave your
sorry.
legs. Your manly,
I think
hairy
he's-
legs.
I think he's wearing thigh highs. My bad. I just see that. So
That's just as good. So does that mean he has an actual suspenders? Ha, Lindsay.
Suspenders, yep. Braces.
yeah. Well, you'll have to
braces.
visit to find out.
No, he's wearing actual.
Actual suspenders. Yeah, sorry. I won't listen. But yeah. Actual suspenders.
So yeah, that's mine.
So we'd like to bring on our special guest for the day for our feature called FanFiction Corner with JMO. Today we have Kristen, aka this-too-too-sullied-flesh on Tumblr. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Very excited. Okay, we're just gonna jump right into this today, okay?
Go. I'm totally ready.
Yeah.
Without
What?
my coffee, I'm ready.
What made you want to get into the fan fiction game?
Total and utter lack of anything good in the source material. My first fandom that I wrote fic for was Twilight, actually.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that's where everyone came from.
But Harry
It's-
Potter.
Or Harry Potter, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, right. It's hilarious to me because every once in a while I'll get a message and somebody will be like, "Oh my God, that was you?" And I go, "Yeah, that was me." Once upon a time, I wrote
Ah.
dirty stuff for the Twilight fandom.
Nice.
Mm.
Was it Bella Edward?
Yeah. I dabbled a little bit in the Jasper Bella.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, one of the
I feel your face. After that.
one of the big fics that I wrote for there kind of hinted at that at first, and people were like, "Wait, are they gonna do it?" And no, they didn't, but kind of
I've gotten
opened my
behind
eyes
that.
to this is
Yeah.
potential. I could go there. So but yeah, Twilight was like, oh God, it was just so PG 13-ish sometimes, and I am not a PG 13-ish kind of person, so
What?
I know.
Welcome.
Yeah,
Join us.
I'm in the right place.
You
Definitely are.
What is it about Captain Swan and their relationship that just keeps you so inspired to keep writing?
The thing that really just gets me about fandom sometimes is we create these incredibly rich worlds, and they're almost always so much better than what we actually get on the show. And participating in fandom, talking to all kinds of different people from all sorts of places and all sorts of ideologies, you just, somebody says one thing, and then you're like, yeah, but what if this? And then they go, yeah, but how about this? And all of a sudden, it's like you've built this entire world that sort of supersedes what we originally got. And I love that. I love the building of ideas and exchanging stuff, and occasionally it explodes into some kind of story that you just can't get out of your head. And that's really why I'm here. I love it. I love creating these things and reading what other people are creating. It's super inspiring, and it's fun as hell.
Amen to that. When did you discover that you had a knack for writing smut?
Okay, so
We're just gonna go right into it.
do it. You know, that's what she said.
Yeah.
I was dared to do it, actually. I was writing something, and I think in my head I knew that I was eventually going to go there, and I hadn't quite yet. And then I was talking to this girl named Caitlin, and she was just like, "All right, here it is, right now. I triple dog dare you to write the filthiest, most graphic thing you could possibly come up with, and let's see what happens." And I went, "Shit, oh yeah, okay." And in one day I had written like this 10,000 word epic, really dirty one shot, and I was kind of like, you know, clutching my pearls the whole time going, I can't post this. Oh my God, what am I doing? And I just did it because at the time I was going to nursing school and my kids were really young. So I was just tired and, you know, incapable of making good life decisions. So I just posted it and kind of went huge. And I went, well, shit, I guess it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And it went from there.
And thus a smut queen was born.
And now here we are many, many years later.
Thank you, Caitlin.
And I'm still incapable. Yeah, right. I'm still incapable of making good decisions, but, you know, that's okay.
Who is?
Yes. All right. What are some of your favorite smutty tropes?
Oh, fuck or die. Man, I know that's terrible, and I don't care. I love it. I will read any sex pollen story that I can find. That's just, it's so good. And, you know, bed sharing. I love bed sharing. I don't care. I made this post a while ago after reading something, I don't remember what it was anymore, about bed sharing, about how much I love it, and I'm trash for it, and I'll read it every time. And man, that post has a lot of notes, and it's hilarious to me. It actually just passed through the Swan Queen fandom, which, yeah, I got a good laugh out of that one. And it's how I discovered there's an entire fandom for the World of Warcraft movie. I didn't know that I needed to know that, but, you know, I'm glad for them. I'm very happy for them. They like bed sharing.
I love that. You have such varying scenarios and different, you know, different areas in your smut, whether it comes to modern AU, canon divergence, Lieutenant Duckling, all that kind of stuff. Which is your favorite that you prefer to write for? And which would you think is probably the easiest to write for?
Ooh, I like writing any of it, honestly. Like I'll just get an idea in my head and then sort of run with it. Like I wrote one, what was that? The Neverland one, what did I call it? Kissing Isn't Touching. And
Love it.
Yeah, love it.
Sorry.
That's great.
That was because my friend who actually followed me over from Twilight just started watching Once Upon a Time, so she's been sort of screaming at me every time she comes across something, and I kept saying, wait till you get to Neverland. Wait till you get to Neverland. It's the best part. So then she gets to, you know, good form and watches The Kiss. Those are with capital letters. And I had it ready to go. She's like, I was just waiting for it. And then all of a sudden she's like, oh God, you know, progressing into all caps and all kinds of, you know, word flailing. And she's just like, I can't believe that. What the hell is happening here? That was like softcore porn shit. And here I am like dying. And I went, hold on, it gets better. Watch this video. So I send her the video of, you know, the sneak peek without the music and all the smacking. So then she watched it like 1,000 times and I watched it with her. I mean, God, we've all seen that like a billion times. I know we can all admit this. Yeah. So I'm sitting there watching it.
On my gravestone.
Right? I'm sitting there watching it and I'm like, man, I should write something about this again. I should just totally go for it. So I did. And, you know, I think probably writing the unrequited Neverland stuff is my absolute favorite thing to write. But as far as all of them go, I think the modern actually comes to me the easiest.
Yeah.
I haven't done one in a while. I probably should, huh?
Please.
give me a good prompt to write and I'll do it.
Oh,
Big details.
Big.
What?
She said Big Dick Jones.
Oh, I
For all
miss
the
Big Dick
BDJs
Jones.
out there.
Oh, I missed that one. Yeah, you're right.
I
Somebody
think that
give me
was like
something.
the first thing I read that you wrote, and I was dying the entire time. Like, it's still like one of my favorites.
Oh, thank you.
It's so
That one was fun. And you know what? The first part wasn't even smutty at all. Like,
Oh, I know, and I loved it. It was just it's such a great, like, funny, and I love food, so it was Thanksgiving, so it was just had everything you needed.
yeah. And then I
And
wrote the Saint Nick Dick
Yep.
Pick Fish follow up, and you know, it was the gift that keeps on giving.
I mean, it is almost St. Patty's Day.
Oh my
You're right,
God.
You're right. That's a good point. I'm actually wearing a St. Patrick's Day shirt right now.
Oh my
You
God.
could.
It's fate.
Yeah.
I can't think of like some awesome acronym right now, but it's St. Patty's Day. But
It's the luck of the Irish.
Oh no. That'll be the name of it. All right, I'll see what I can come up with, girls. Just for you.
Yeah. Oh. What are some of your favorite Killian Emma smut headcanons?
Oh, damn. How long is this program? Let's see.
As long as you want
depends
it to
on the
be.
day.
Depends on the day, really.
All right. Killian Jones is bisexual, and anyone can fight me on this. That is my biggest one.
Yes. I agree.
God, I'm totally blanking now. I mean, I know I have so many of them, and you know how you get that thing where you're like, okay, wait a minute, did that actually happen, or did I read it in a fic, or was that just a really great conversation that I had with somebody? Oh, here's one for you. I really, really like the idea that Emma has not let guys go down on her, and that possibly that was the way that they connected. I think that's why I write so much of that whenever I do a Neverland one, is because it's such an intimate thing, and you know, she was not an intimate type person to allow people in, and you know, to put it bluntly, to let somebody just go to town with their mouth that has, you know, like teeth in it in your genital area that's a major act of trust. So my thing is that even though she wouldn't have necessarily been letting him in emotionally, that she would let him do that because, well, in canon we got that she kissed him, and that's a big thing too. So that's a headcanon that I have, is maybe they weren't actually even doing it, but that one, I do think that was one of the first sexual things that they did with each other, and that's a hill that I'll gladly die on.
I'm totally on board with that. I never thought about that, but that makes total
I
sense.
love that.
Right?
Also, we all know Neil wouldn't.
No.
Oh, well,
No.
look,
No.
he'd give a couple of, like, you know, begrudging licks,
And
let's just
my
say,
jaw
and, you know, be done with it.
He'd be like, your turn.
Okay, my turn now. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Are you
Oh
done?
my God. Are you done?
Yeah. Wow, that was great. Well, was it? Oh. Now I'm getting sad thinking about it.
Oh. Last week we made outfits sad. Now we're making going down on people sad.
Why do we make the good stuff sad?
Because they're so angsty. They're just naturally angsty characters.
Or maybe Neil ruined it for her, and then Killian helped her like get back into it.
Oh, yeah.
Good one.
I'm down with that. That's a good
Oh,
one.
are you?
So is
Make-
Emma. She's down with that too.
Exactly.
This is actually something that I kind of struggle with. Do you find it difficult to balance the description of the scene with adding dialogue?
No, dialogue is my favorite thing to write. It's one of the only things I don't question because, I don't know, I'm a talky person in general. So just being able to write down the things that I say, like, I laugh about this a lot, but it's true. A lot of the lines that I put in my stories are things that I actually say out loud in person all the time. Like, okay, in A Hard Man is Good to Find, that's BDJ. I know most people remember that story as being called BDJ. It's really not. There's a line that Regina says where she's like, I don't carry things. And I got so many people saying that's such a Regina thing to say, and it's so funny, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I say that a lot, you guys. That's a me thing to say. I don't carry things. So, but a dialogue, yeah, it's a hard thing to nail, and some people just are so good at it, and some people really aren't, especially, the show Once Upon a Time itself isn't necessarily great at the dialogue.
What?
So it's one of those.
I've never heard that
Don't
before.
question it.
That's so weird.
Anything.
It's one of those things that I always want to, get at least even a little bit right. So I try and make sure that it sounds natural. And people have asked me before, how do you do that? And this is what I tell my kids when they're writing their papers. I'm like, read it out loud, okay? And if you're tripping over your own words as you're reading it out loud, then that's something that you need to work on. Just try reading it out loud, see if that helps. See if it feels organic, if that's something that somebody would actually say, much less the character that you're writing it for. As far as the descriptions go, I mean, Smut specifically, I spend a lot of time, if it's not something that I just write and post, if I'm actually going to edit it, I spend a lot of time making sure that, the arm that is brushing away the lock of hair was there a second ago. And if a mouth is in a place, that it was, somewhere near that place before it goes to that place. Because we've all done the thing where you're reading Smut and it's really good and you're like, grooving along, and all of a sudden you go, whoa, what? Wait, huh? I thought they were on their backs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's my biggest pet peeve when it comes to reading
I
it.
had to stop reading it because it just finds, that's my excitement gone now.
Or, weren't her ankles just locked behind his waist and now they're up in the air? Like, what just happened? We missed a step here. I want to know that step. My husband just walked in and he's looking at me funny. I told you this is what I was doing today, babe.
And what's
if you
his
don't
favorite
want to know what
hashtag?
I do in my free time, then don't walk in without knocking.
Yeah.
That sounds like a title to something.
It's an open Smut prompt for the fandom.
Yes.
Right there.
Yes.
Wow, that could get really dirty real fast. You guys are dirty.
Have you not noticed?
Or, that's a good
Forgot
case
to
of
warn you.
pot calling the kettle black, I guess.
So this leads me to a question. Is your husband aware that you write this?
Oh, yeah, he is. He knows. Sometimes he'll look at me and go, quit taking notes. What can I say? Like, if you're going to be a writer, you've got to observe what's going on around you, right?
Yeah.
Write what you know.
Well, I don't know. I've written about, vampires sucking people dry, like, in a dirty way, so I don't necessarily know about that.
True.
Hello.
No, he knows. He's known from the beginning, because I was using it as an outlet because I had so many stressors in my life when I started out, and he's just like, what do you do on the computer all day? And we have a very, very communicative marriage, so I told him, well, I'm, reading about two people fucking quite graphically. How's your day? And he just went, oh, okay. I've asked him before if he ever wants to read the stuff that I write, and he's like, oh God, no. I'm glad you're happy, but no, thanks.
You got a good man there. He sounds like a keeper.
He is. I'll allow him to stay around here.
I'll allow it.
He's very tall, so.
Does he also carry things though?
Whatever do you mean? Yeah, he does. Like, I have 3 teenage boys, and and they're all tall, and I've got a very tall husband, so I have to do very little physical labor.
Lucky.
I know, it's almost like I did it on purpose.
I think one of my favorite parts of Kissing Isn't Touching Me, other than the obvious, is your references to the Killer's Mr. Brightside during the entire thing. Did that song inspire this one shot, or were you listening to it while writing it? I know we discussed your thing for music when you write, and I just want to know what other kind of music maybe inspires some of your fics.
Yeah, it just happened to be on. I had a YouTube video playing, and then it just kind of goes into autoplay, and the song came on right before I started writing, and I was like, hey, this is kind of perfect. It was only a kiss. How did it end up like this? So I was like, oh, I could riff off something like that. And actually, I had originally titled it after one of the lines in the song, and I don't remember what it was anymore. But then I got down to it, and then I was like, maybe I should call it Kissing Is Touching. But then you can't italicize a word in a Tumblr title. So I was like, wait, Kissing Isn't Touching is much funnier and also kind of hot. So we're going to go with that one. But a lot of the times stuff like the title eludes me. So I just kind of default to song lyrics if I can't think of anything original, because I'm not really that original a person. But yeah, whenever I'm writing, I have to have music on when it's during the day. Sometimes in the dead of night, I like the stillness and the darkness. And I think, like I had told you before, when I'm writing the very, very descriptive graphic stuff where I sort of devolve into just explaining the sensations more than anything, I like to write with my eyes closed. And I turn on some like heavy industrial 90s music or something like that, something with a really deep beat and not many words that will distract me from writing. So it's kind of fun to close my eyes and just type and see what happens. So whenever you get to that part in a story and the words aren't necessarily making actual grammatically correct sentences, I was probably listening to something really, really loud with my headphones on, with my eyes closed writing. And I leave it that way because, I don't know, I like it a little sloppy.
I like that idea of you just giving in to just the feeling of writing and just letting it all flow through you. I think that's really inspiring, actually. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, try it, see what happens. Sometimes I think the biggest problem anybody can have when you're writing is to get in your own head, actually. So I don't like to edit as I write. I just write, and I write it long and wait until it's done, and I try and resist the urge to go back and reread something. And if I get stuck, then I'll go back and reread it. And sometimes I try and fix the typos, but I try not to do that until the very end, because you never know. You never know if a sentence that ends up working later might have been something you would have deleted before or anything. So I know it's an approach that works for me, that I've kind of honed over the years, and I don't know if it would work for other people, but if you need to try something, that might be something that you would be willing to try. Try not to touch it until you get to the very end, and then go back and start the editing process.
That's what I do. Like, I'll go through like blocks, like just like I'll write in a Tumblr draft, and I don't put any paragraphs. I don't do line breaks. I do nothing. It's just one giant block, and then once I'm done, I go back and I go through and edit.
Yeah. You're a brave man, by the way, for writing on Tumblr. I did that once and lost an entire 9,000 super angsty young Lieutenant Jones and Liam Jones fic, and it was so I kept on rubbing my chest as I was writing it, like, why am I doing this to myself again? And then my computer shut down for an auto update because Windows 10 can blow me, and it was awful. I was so mad. And I went back and tried to get some of it back, and I know that I had some of it in my head, but I lost so much of it, so I write in Google Docs now.
I usually end up copying as I go. I just auto copy stuff as I'm writing. I write a lot and then I copy and I save it and make sure it's saved, and because I've lost stuff too on Tumblr, but I'm also too lazy to not write on my phone, so.
Well, I think after the third time that had happened to me, Karen, she's passing fanciful, she was just yelling at me and like, I'm not going to feel sorry for you anymore. I'm not going to write in Google Docs where it auto saves. So, quit being an animal and get on my level. I was like, all right, fine. Jeez. She keeps me honest. She's one of my favorite smut writers for the fandom, by the way.
Okay.
If you've never read her Happy Endings series, it's on AO3 and it's on Tumblr. If you haven't read Happy Endings, the sex shop AU, then I don't know what you're doing. Just please.
Why have I not heard of this?
I haven't heard of this either. So thank you.
Right?
Get on it.
Thank you so much.
I feel
Happy
like
Endings. There's 3 parts to it, and yeah, it's just passing fanciful. There's a hyphen in there, and the story is happy. Anything by her, honestly. She's kind of incredible.
I know what I'm doing later.
Yep. Yep. I have one more on my list here. Weeds and Cherry Trees is very unique. What was the driving force behind that one? Because I never expected to find Killian reciting poetry while stoned on pot, something I needed in my life.
It's also now like my favorite trope, and I didn't know that I ever wanted that.
Yeah, I know.
I actually toyed with, because okay, here's another headcanon that I have. It's not really smutty, but I just figure he kind of has a knack for languages. So I was like, what if I wrote into it that he just decided one day to pick up Spanish and then starts actually reciting the Neruda poetry to her, like in its original Spanish? That would be hot, but then I was like, oh God, no. Then I'd have to go in and make sure that my sad 2 semesters of college Spanish is up to par. So I kind of nixed that one, but I don't remember. I'm fairly certain it's BK's fault.
Okay.
Because I know we were talking about something, and I said something about being stoned, getting it on, and she was just like, you should write that right now. And I went, okay. And I don't, I wrote that one, gosh, a couple of years ago, so I honestly don't remember what my motivation was at the time. Generally, my motivation was the thought crosses my head, and I sit down and see if I can flesh it out. There's a lot of stuff that I've started writing that, I got 9,000 words in and then just sort of stopped. And so if I can find the will and the impetus to just keep going, then, cool. I've gotten better about finishing stuff over time, though. It's why I want to write a story in its completion before I start posting, like that one that I just finished doing.
Oh, I love that one.
Oh, thank you. I wrote that in 5 days.
Jesus.
I still can't believe that I pulled it off. It'll never happen again. That was the one time in my life that I'll be able to write a 40,000 word story in 5 days.
For those who know what we're talking about The Next Wounded Soul, and it was so good.
Thank you. I loved it, and the art for it was amazing. I'm so excited. Ellie, that's See the Lovely in the World.
Absolutely.
She's actually going to be sending me all 3 pieces, the original pastels, and I'm totally going to frame them. I know, I'm really excited. I'm so excited. I'm like, look, not to be too extra or anything, but I'm going to die if you don't send these to me soon. And she's like, I'm working on it. But
I'll get on her. Ellie, you're going to cause her death. Send them to her now.
Yeah, and then she won't be able to write any more smut for the fandom, and it'll be all your fault.
I know. We can't have that.
Now I want to reread my Weeds and Cherry Trees. It's been a while.
Also, that
was a good one.
The fact that, Emma's trying to show him how to use the pipe, and he's like, I got this. It was so in character.
I've been alive for 300 years. I think I know how to light a pipe. And it sort of leaves the door. I still can't believe that I have not written a sex poem fic that took place in Neverland. You
should said probably that to me, and now I need it.
Well, there's already that really good one. What was it? Don't Touch. That one was an older one. Have you guys read that one? It's a Neverland sex poem fic. It's great.
It sounds really familiar.
It does, yeah.
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 But I've read a lot of Neverland fics.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've read every single one there is to read.
It was one of the ones from back in the day. That was like when I was low key reading fics for the fandom and not actually participating in it. That was one of the first ones that I read. That was a good one. There's a lot of good ones, man. Oh, I miss season 3. It was such a good time.
We all do. Well, Kristen, why don't you tell all the listeners where they can find all of your works? Where can they check you out online?
Sure, you guys can find me on Tumblr. My username is this-too-too-sullied-flesh with hyphens in between each word. That is a Hamlet reference for people who don't immediately recognize it. And on AO3, it's WTVOC. So you can find me there. I have a FanFiction one, but I don't post any Captain Swan on there. I hate fanfiction.net, and I haven't posted anything there in like 5 or 6 years.
Understandable.
But if you really, really want to read some very old Twilight fanfiction from
I might actually.
back in the day.
Who doesn't?
Secretly now and then.
Well, back this is all like pre-E.L. James stuff too, so it's like really old.
Stuff.
One of the big ones that I had was called Scotch Gin and the New Girl. So.
Oh my God, that's you!
Yeah, I get this all the time. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh my God!
See, it still happened. I wrote that story. What year is it? It's 2017.
Oh my God.
We wrote that story in 2008, so it's been like 9 years, and everyone I still get people who will be like, "Oh my God, I was reading that story when I was in high school, and it got me through some rough times," and I'm like, "I'm so fucking old." But, thanks. I have friends to this day that I still talk to every single day that used to harass me constantly about updating, and I kind of took them on. And
I was going to ask you when you said you wrote Twilight earlier, but I'm like, no, I don't know. I probably don't even remember any of them. But then I'm like, oh my God, my mind is blown right now.
Yeah. I wrote it with my life partner, Jessica. I call her Jimmy. And we actually we write novels together. We're gearing up to do revisions on our next one. She is my favorite person on the planet, and we're still together. We're still writing together. But yeah, I wrote Scotch and some other stuff.
Sorry, I'm just really mind blown right now.
Yeah.
The fandoms have collided.
I know, and it's why I take such a zen-like approach to the Captain Swan fandom, is because I saw some shit, okay? I went through a lot in the Twilight fandom because I was kind of high profile for a while, and I got the gambit of ugly fandom things. And I see the stuff that goes on in here, and I'm just like, ugh, I've seen this before.
Twilight is okay. They had some.
Just a little bit.
I was in the middle of some of it. I've seen some things, so it's I didn't want to join the Captain Swan fandom at first, just because I was like, I don't know if I want to go through that again, but maybe if I keep it low key and I don't comment or participate on any of the drama, and I'm just make sure that I'm here to have a good time, because I hate it when I'm not having a good time, and that's what I do, and I'm still doing it. It's making for a decent fandom experience for me. I've made lots of friends. I talk to all kinds of people, and this is how I choose to do it. I just, write really dirty fuck fic and talk to people, reblog gift sets of 2 very attractive people kissing.
Only everyone did this.
The world would be such a better place.
Exactly, it would.
Well, that's the fandom experience that I choose to have, and it's working pretty good for me.
Be like Kristen, everyone.
No, don't be like her. That's terrible advice.
I think so.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me, you guys. It was
Loved
fun.
having you.
Yes.
All right.
That was a blast.
All
Love it.
right. So we got an overwhelmingly amount of listener responses for this subject, not surprisingly.
Shocking.
I do want to first start with a wonderful email that we got from Xerxes Rises, who is one of our favorites. And she was nice enough to take the time to send us a really nice long response about her experiences with writing. So I'm going to read it word for word. Apologies if it's a little long, but I think it's brilliant and it should
Yeah.
be read. So this is what she says. She says, first off, thanks for asking me to participate in the podcast this week, even if only in written form. You ladies are the best. Ah, the joys and tribulations of fanfiction writing. Where do I even begin? I've always been a writer, although most of my work is academic and factual, all very boring and benign, including what I write for a living. I've dabbled over the years in writing fanfiction, but have never been compelled to post any of it. Then Captain Swan arrived in my life, and I found myself writing little drabbles about them. They were one-shots that had no real plot, but it was the start of something bigger, and I started posting simply because I had to get out all the stuff in my head. To be honest, I don't know that I'll ever have the passion for writing fic about another couple the same as this. There's just something about these two characters and the actors that portray them that speak to my imagination and to the writer in me. Now, on to the smut. Ha! I don't know what it says about me that I find writing those situations pretty easy. They usually flow right out of my fingertips. I think I'm pretty tame in the situations I write. More than anything, it's really important for me to show the emotions evident in those moments. That's what draws me to this couple, and quite frankly, what turns me on about them. So I always want to convey that. I'm not writing sex for sex's sake, but for the emotional impact that the level of intimacy has for these two people. That's the type of fanfiction I like reading as well. Something with a good plot, lots of emotion, and smut that works within the story, either to enhance the relationship or move it forward. Writing smut is not easy for everyone, and I'm always really sensitive to that fact when a fellow writer reaches out and asks for advice. It's also extremely nerve-wracking to post it, beyond just posting something that you've written in general. And as we know, people aren't always sensitive or kind about their thoughts when leaving feedbacks or comments. At the end of the day, I just remind folks that if you're writing for other reasons and their reactions, you'll never be satisfied. Figure out your goal, what you want to get better at, or try your hand at, and then go for it. If it brings you joy and it's your passion, sod everyone else. There are so many amazing writers out there who put such love and attention into their stories about Captain Swan, and I'm such a fangirl myself. Without these folks, I would never have had the courage to put my first few stories online. They continue to inspire me on the daily with their efforts at capturing intimate moments between this couple. I can't thank them enough for all their contributions, and I hope that I've been able to impart to them through reviews and reblogs how absolutely amazing I think they are. I hesitate to call out folks because I know I'm going to miss someone, so I won't do that here. I try to show love where I can to people, whether it's a fic rec or a quick message to their inbox. I try to love up on people as much as I can. And I've met some amazing people who have done the same back to me. So if you've ever wanted to flail at someone over their writing or their artwork but are hesitant to do it, go on. You never know that awesome person you might be meeting. People are amazing and continue to be amazing when it comes to providing feedback. The fact that something I've written appeals to people is awesome, and I love, love, love hearing about what hits someone in their solar plexus. It means a lot to hear from someone who is affected in some ways by something I wrote. I count myself lucky to be a part of this fandom where people can stop by to chat and flail on the regular. I've met some really amazing people because of our mutual appreciation of this fictional couple, and that, at the end of the day, is the point to all this. And to top it all off, through my writing, I've gotten to participate in something like this, an awesome podcast where people have come together and flail over Captain Swan and the gorgeousness of Colin O'Donoghue. I mean, how much better can it possibly get? Much love to you ladies.
Oh, that was lovely. Thank you.
Oh,
That was
I love
wonderful.
her.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, I remember I was reading that early when we got the email, and I was like, oh my god, this is so great.
Oh.
And props to Sarah for reading
Yeah.
that perfectly.
Woo!
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
She can read.
I can read. That's my
Guys,
skill.
Sarah can read. Yes.
So proud of her.
Love that girl.
You get a gold star today.
Aww. All right, so we got a question from Obi's girl, and she wants to know what our favorite CS smut weakness is or favorite kink. For her, she loves showers, and she came across a really good one with Killian called Indulgence, which was written by Abaddon's Little Witch on AO3. So, what are our favorites?
I'm sorry, did you say shots?
Showers.
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 Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Smutty showers. That's a good one.
Yeah. Oh, I like any angst, obviously. Any angsty smut is good. Or like the whole like when they hate each other and they bang. Hate sex. That's good. When he's a musician, I really have a weakness for that. Or just dark hook in general. Just angsty, evil darkness, some tattoos. Or if he's a bar owner.
I was just gonna say that Killian is a bartender. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bartender
I like-
and musician, if we're talking modern AU.
I just love Pirate Killian. I can just take control and just.
Yeah.
I love that taking charge. But I also, love Emma as like Sheriff Emma as well. I just love them in like powerful positions, and then taking control. Just hard sex, like. But a long day. Let's just get on with it. Well, no, that doesn't sound very good. But, you know what I mean.
There's something great about the early Neverland, where Killian's just obviously longing and so lustful for her, and she's just like, no, but
He's
okay,
got a
yes.
boner like 24/7 and never had. Them leather pants are feeling real tight in Neverland.
It still makes me laugh when Neil and Killian just like bicker over her, and she's like standing right there, and it's like, oh my god, guys.
They're fighting over the lighter.
But like that whole scenario there was just like a perfect birthplace for all these amazing fics of what would have happened that didn't happen because it's an 8 o'clock ABC family show.
Yep.
That's true.
If we're talking like Enchanted Forest AU kind of kinks, I do love the pirate princess dynamic. But if we're talking modern stuff, for regular fics, I'm a sucker for correspondence in general, like texting and phone calls and all like that. So phone sex, text sex, FaceTime sex, I love that kind of stuff. And then like modern, like whenever they're like in the modern setting, but she wants to bring out like the pirate coat for role play, that's hot.
I really like when Killian can cook.
Shocking. Shocking.
I especially like
Pink or just a thing that you like?
It's a thing.
I find a guy that can cook really sexy.
Unless they're banging in the kitchen.
That's another good one.
Well, I mean, that's usually what it leads to, so.
Yeah.
That's true. I was just thinking
Or
you like
I
the
like-
cooking part. And
I
then
like
you
when
like the
Killian
sex
knows how to
afterwards.
make a really mean crab dip.
Grabbed it.
Oh, the crab dip will live forever.
It's gonna be on your gravestone.
Take crab dip.
And even if no one writes it on there, I'm gonna go in the middle of the night and chisel it.
She created
With
the
Killian's
crab
help.
dip phenomena. Oh God. Well, I like a little kink. Like I like when Killian gets a little dominant and kind of puts Emma out of her comfort zone. There's a lot of stuff where he's like, I'm 300 years old. I've got some tricks up my sleeves, And if you think about it, I mean, I think it's sort of been implied that Emma hasn't really been with that many people, at least sort of in the headcanon usually. So I always like when he's teaching her a thing or two or 4 or 16 or whatever, however long
Or
the
69.
story is. Yeah, that one too.
Yes.
hmm
There's not enough 69 fics out there. Just throw that out.
Well, there's probably a reason for that. It's difficult. It's not the easiest thing in the world, and sometimes it's a little complicated.
Fair.
Just saying. Maybe that's TMI, but Side note, I think it's interesting. I've never read one where he's uncircumcised.
Huh.
And I feel like he may
I feel like
not
he
have
would be.
been.
Yeah.
Like, I probably wouldn't be circumcised. It wasn't the trendy thing to do 300
Jennifer.
years ago.
And in the
Oh my
UK,
God.
it's not very trendy in the UK either.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. So I'm like, what? I don't really look out for that, but okay. It's not very common over here.
Just an
Unless it's
interesting
religion.
side little note. You get a lot of description, but it's always circumcised.
What's your favourite place to read smut?
Anywhere.
Yeah, I'll read it anywhere.
It's-
I mean, I'll read it anywhere, but most of the time when I'm actually reading fic and concentrating on it, I'm in the comfort of my own bed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's usually before I go to sleep is when I'm reading.
Same.
But I will read it, like, anywhere. Although I find myself, like, I get more, like, you can see more on my face about what I'm reading when I'm reading, like, fluffy stuff. Because I'm like, oh, it's so cute. But then, like, if I'm reading smut and it's, like, the dirtiest thing ever, my face is just, like, blank. Like, I'm looking at, like, Facebook or something.
That's basically because my favourite place to read is on the train. I love reading it, like, on a Monday morning. Like, I used to get the train to work. And on a Monday morning, I'd, like, I'd get some smut ready. And I get comfortable, and I found it really relaxing and, like, enjoyable. I just seem to enjoy it more on a train. I don't know why.
The vibration.
Do it.
Emotion,
Do it on the
emotion, all, you know. I don't know.
The vibrations of the cause.
Oh, yes.
What else?
One
Get that
way
belt,
to
get
wake you up on a Monday morning.
talented.
My second question is, do you prefer multi-chapters or one-shots with smut?
Depends on the plot.
Yes, I would agree.
I'll read either one.
I'm always a sucker. Like, I would always prefer a multi-chapter just because I get so drawn into the story and I always want more. But sometimes you only have time for a one-shot, so.
That's true.
But the longer the story, the better. I will hang on for however long they want to keep it going.
Sassy?
I would agree with that. You know, I like one shots when I'm just like, I just want to read something short. But if I'm, I've got hours to kill, set me up with a multi-chapter. Let's go. I find people that have a good plot write good smut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't get like somebody that writes phenomenal sex scenes and then writes like a crappy plot. Like you don't.
Yeah.
At least in my experience, I haven't found that. If I'm reading something that's good smut and it's multi-chapter, then I'm probably gonna like the story.
You know what's the worst though? When it's a really great plot and they kind of skip over the sex and they just like
Yeah.
bang,
That
bang.
happens, but not the other way around. Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I'm just like, damn.
Yeah, there's like you get like to like the very end, you get to like the very precipice of it. Then it's like the
Like
line
the fade out. Yeah, they do
The
the
next
fade
morning.
out.
Next
Fade
morning.
They cut the commercial.
Next minute.
Yeah.
They cut the
Good
commercial.
morning.
Wake up in bed.
I think you hit that moment where you like scroll back, like maybe you missed it or hit the tab button
Yeah.
too much. Yeah.
And then, like, damn it, it's a teen. Why did I miss this?
What?
Oh, it's a teen rating.
That's
why.
the thing. Gotta check the rating before you read.
I don't read teen ratings. I'm
I
an
do
E or an
something
N
like
girl.
If something's been wrecked to me as being really phenomenal and it's T or or something along those lines, I'll give it a shot because
Jesus fucking Christ.
smut's not like I don't have to just solely read something that's mature. Like
Yeah.
as long as it's a good plot, I'll read it.
Mhm.
Ironic. During this conversation, I get a favorite to send to my email. Someone favorited 4 bodies during that conversation.
We know what trope they like.
Yeah, apparently.
Also, that would be the only acceptable way I would want to read something that involved more than 2 people, because I'm not all about someone else trying to get in on some Captain Swan sexy time.
I don't mind the gram. Not gonna lie.
Ooh.
Do it.
I've read a couple I didn't hate.
Just because I can't. I was reading one story and it was like that's kind of like a love triangle between her, Graham, and Killian, and they had a sex scene with Graham, and I couldn't read it. I started reading it, and I'm like, this is wrong. So I scrolled. I love the story, but I just couldn't get through it. I was just like, nope.
JMO, let's tackle that Tumblr list.
Woo! Good Lord, you guys. Y'all came through for me. That's all I'm saying. I got a few personal message to me on Tumblr through the Tumblr message from Coco Hook. So as writers go, you and me and the real Killian Jones are like the only smut writers I read. Fic, I never remember who writes the CS prompt on my dash almost daily, but I do like having a little stuff to read. Just like the last one you wrote, I can't remember what the last one I wrote, crap. But I have two fanfics I remember correctly. First, Love in the Time of Gods, because I love your fic and the story, and the smut in it is excellent. I could also mention that 3 hooks and 1 savior that I have drawn for
Yes. Yes. Love it.
And the second one is from Sab. It's called Rotten Heart. This is the very first smut I've read. So I like some smut chapters. I have the tendency to read them all over again. There was one where Emma created a bond between her and Killian's hearts, and they would feel what the other's feeling. I was like, I've never heard of this, and I want it now.
Oh.
Yes.
Side note, I also want to give a shout out to Julie for sending me that amazing drawing that references last week's episode with Killian looking at these wardrobe choices. And it's fucking adorable. I will post it on the website.
I was
It's
saying,
so
why have I
cute.
not seen this?
She sent me that. She sent me that, and I was like, you need to DM this to Sarah now.
Oh my god, it's so cute. But like the little details like on his back, like so cute.
Little tiny hook. Trying to figure out this outfit. All right. So Pocket Anon. I preface this by saying I generally don't read fic for the smut alone. So when I judge smut, it's usually in the context of the work and the writing as a whole. That said, my favorite smutty writers include Now for Ruin, Alexandra Lyman, Xerxes Rises, and To the End of the World or Time. The word smut also brings initial A to mind. In terms of smutty fics, I've loved, there are probably too many to mention, but Heart to Heart from To the End of the World or Time comes immediately to mind. And I really love Beyond the Horizon and Between Heaven and Hell.
Ooh.
Oh my god,
Yes.
Between Heaven and Hell. How did I forget about that one? Oh no.
Again, not fics or not that I don't like fics for smut alone, and that actually put the smut in meaningful context. Mm-hmm. Though one could argue just having it be Captain Swan puts the smut in meaningful context, and they don't need more meaningful context. Going through my smutty fic recs, though, I've also give shout-outs to Scruff by Xerxes Rises. If You Go Deep, You'll Touch My Mind by this-too-too-sullied-flesh. Physically Fit by I've Always Been a Pirate. Cleansed by Alexandra Lyman. And The Little Things by Dashing Rex Killian.
I meant to mention Now for Ruin. I love her stuff.
Yeah, I forgot about her.
She specializes in angsty sex, so.
I mean, there's so many amazing authors who write good smut. It's like we could be here all day, but thank you to everyone in the fandom who contributes to the smut trope. You'll love it. Yeah. Thank you.
I've Always Been a Pirate says Xerxes Rises for sure. Let's see a few others. Mustatans, I guess that's how you say it. This-too-too-sullied-flesh. Lashotzi. Stop Hooking at Me, Swan, which I fucking love that name. If you're a Billy Madison fan like me, I fucking love that name. I'm sure there are a zillion others that I'm spacing right now for some reason. I think we love smut for a few reasons. The first being that Colin O'Donoghue is gorgeous, and imagining him in indecent circumstances is always tempting. Plus, reading smut gives us a chance to fulfill what the show keeps refusing to give us. God damn it, Annie. Obi's Girl. I think To the End of the World or Time deserves some special recognition when it comes to writing CS smut. The first fic I read of hers, Poem Without Words, is a masterpiece, and it has made me interested in what others she has done. SDMH 1977. Never mind. Yeah, that was just something dumb. Lizzie C087 Ship Captain Swan says, yay, she was excited about our interviewee later. And she said, she's very good in that genre for sure. Is BDJ going to make an appearance?
Ooh.
Marry Me, Emma Swan. Lashotzi, anytime I read her smut, I just melt.
That's a good one.
I love me some Killian Jones. Great. Some of my favorite smut writers are Lashotzi, A Magical Ship, Swanism, Like Waves on the Beach, and Optimistic Girl. NF Bagel Person. I believe it was Killian Dimples who stated, or I'm about to paraphrase badly, these two were made to bang.
Yes.
Absolute favorites. Weeds and Cherry Trees, because I dig Neruda, and there's always filth in my eyes. Roan says, my smut goddess is definitely To the End of the World or Time. Everything she writes is wonderful. Leather Jackets and Rum, another mention of To the End of the World or Time. And then she'd say, I'd also say Jenna. Captain Swan is my endgame. Also put out some good smut. Hey. I'm trying to think of some other authors I read who do smut. Seems like I don't read a lot of fanfic. Sorry. Xerxes Rise is a Magical Ship, Lashotzi, and that's pretty much all I read read smut from. I need to read more CS fanfiction. I feel like I miss out. Yes, you do, Shanice. Get on it.
We gave you a whole list.
We did.
Sorry.
Something altogether. She's also J Cody Art on Twitter.
Oh, I like her. She's lovely.
Fira Loves Loki and Captain
Yes.
Swan is my endgame come to mind for favorite authors, but if you need a comprehensive list, give me a few days. Villain's Happy Ending, Amy, says, this is an amazing topic. If I listed my favorite smut fics, I'd be here all day, but I love the smutty works of A Fairy Tale Princess, Acrobat L, and Captain Swan is my endgame. If I had to pick an absolute smut queen, though, it would have to be Hook, Line, and Swan. Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that. Yeah. Awesome.
Whether there is a plot or not, her stuff is great. Looking forward to hearing everyone's thoughts. Bleeblug says, this-too-too-sullied-flesh, Like Waves on a Beach, Fear Loves Loki, Killian Sex Hair, and Life in a Hole, and Stop Looking at Me Swan. Flipper Brain said, a few of my faves, Weeds and Cherry Trees by this-too-too-sullied-flesh, Growing, Older, and Other Things by Acrobat L. Authors Starts with Hope, Xerxes Rises, Passing Fanciful, Happy Endings. Just a few more. Survivor Jace, favorite smut authors for her, Holding Out for a Pirate Hero, Killian's Dimples, Colin's Chest, Fear Loves Loki, The Real Killian Jones, Alexandra Lyman, Hook, Line, and Swan, and Captain Swan is my endgame.
Yay!
What are your favorite smut fics, one shot or multi-chapter? The ones that come to mind are Love of the Time of the Gods, Beyond the Horizon, Between Heaven and Hell, 20 Gold Coins, and an Uninspected Wind.
Yeah.
Fic writers for Wordsmith Storyweaver, she says Killian's Dimples, Optimistic Girl, To the End of the World or Time. Head Over Hook, Xerxes, and Lashotzi. And there's an Hook, Line, and Swan also mentions Optimistic Girl's fic, Take Me to Church.
Oh, good one.
We haven't yet. Can we just say we haven't actually spoken about Priest Killian, like that
Holy
trope?
shit!
I mean, I'm sorry, but that is that's a big area in the smut world. It really is.
Nice area.
It is.
I would like to have some real estate over there. Maybe like a timeshare.
Yes.
A 2-bedroom condo.
A mansion.
Yes. Bless us, Father Jones, we have sinned repeatedly.
All about that Priest Killian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because actually, when you think about it, like, there's a lot of them out there, like Neverland fics, Priest Killian fics. That is, your basic go-to smut area, really.
One of my favorite memes, and it relates to this, is when it's like, you have your average dirty fic, and then you have your I need to go take a bath in holy water fic. And I feel like some of those apply.
Well, is there anything that you really want to be written that you don't think has been written, or that there is a distinct lack of?
Tattoo artist
Ooh.
Killian.
Ooh.
Oh
Oh.
man.
Like angsty as hell tattoo artist Killian with gauges and all sorts of piercings.
And Emma comes in just to get like a simple flower on her wrist.
No. She's all tatted up too. I want everyone, or she wants like a really big piece done or something. I don't know.
There's like a lot of one of them like musician fics. There's one of them is a musician and one isn't. But what I would like is both of them are musicians and they're both trying to fight for the top spot, and it's all angsty and they like end up banging and falling in love and they end up being a duo together and it's just magical.
Ooh, you know what? There was one I read one time and I don't remember what happened to it or if she never continued it, but they were ballroom dancer partners and they were having to compete and they hated each other, and I was here for it.
I was here
Good.
for
If
it.
you find it, link me up.
It's like it was only like 2 or 3 chapters in. Like they didn't. Yeah. Or I lost it. I'm not sure.
I still want somebody to write a horseback riding one. Like, I know I started one, but I don't have any time. I would like for somebody to write one for me. Because, like, instructor Killian and, like, tall leather boots with, like, a riding crop.
Us horse people, man. Like.
Yeah, I know.
Killian Jones with a cat, still waiting for it.
Killian Jones with a cat.
Still waiting.
There is one. What was I just reading? And he had a cat. He had 2 cats.
Yeah. There's plenty of fics about killing books.
I read one where he was a cat.
Yes, I've read that one. I've read them all. Seriously, I've read them all. But there's keep them coming.
It was the horse one. What's the horse one? Sarah, one of you Sarahs recommended it to me.
No.
That one I forgot to keep going.
Yeah.
Oh, the ranch. The one on the ranch?
No, it's like the showgrounds and the race, and she works in the media in the media box, and he owns.
What?
You wrecked that one week, didn't you, Bo?
Yeah, I did, but I don't remember.
I can't remember what it's called, but you wrecked it one week.
I know what you're talking about.
Go back through our recs on the website.
Yeah.
Somebody send me that one.
Ray
I will.
Rex
Never
it
read that.
I read it. It took me like a
He
week
works
to
in the
read.
media box with like Elsa and Ruby, and he's like he's not a jockey. He owns the ranch. He owns the show, like the barn.
Yes, you know which one you're talking about. Fuck.
And it's so good and angsty.
It is
and
good.
he has 2 cats.
He does. He does. I said I've read them all.
That was my point.
He
has 2 cats. But that might fill your horseback riding need, Sarah.
Thank you.
You know what I want is, okay, someone, and Jenna, you can probably say who this is because I don't remember, but someone made an artwork of them as Rick and Evie from the Mummy movies.
Oh, it was Sleepbug. It was Kayla. It was Kayla who did that.
I need a fic.
Probably
A mummy fic. I need a mummy fic.
From what I can tell, she's probably going to do it sometime this year.
Oh, thank God.
She's written like the beginning of it and stuff. She's got the outline. Yeah. She just needs to write the actual thing.
It was like she did a little bit of a snippet for her for like a follow whoever giveaway, and she did the artwork for it, and I was like, if you don't fucking do this, I will hunt you down. You only live 2 hours away from me.
I would also really love them to be inserted into Tudor history.
I would love that!
Like, maybe Emma becomes one of the 6 wives, but the one that doesn't get beheaded or divorced.
But by then, Henry was, like, fat and old and disgusting.
Well, that doesn't have to happen.
That's what the beauty of AU is.
Could still be
I
Jonathan
want-
Rhys Meyers, who stayed hot throughout the majority of it.
I know. He was
Yeah,
like,
he did.
sorry, his history nerd right here. I'm sorry. Can't help it.
I want more mermaid and siren.
I was just thinking mermaids.
Siren.
You could go to
Well, I started writing like a dark Neverland, like Hook has control of Neverland and it's really dark, and Emma's like a siren mermaid, but not the nice kind, the one that eats people. But
Bitch, I want it.
gotten around to finishing that or
Nice.
anything else that I've started.
I literally have no ideas. You guys are the ones that feed my idea machine.
Well,
so.
I would love more Death Eater Killian, preferably a long multi-chapter. Because
So you're saying
despite
you want me to
despite begging in the last time we talked about this topic, there have not been any more Hogwarts AU fics popping up. So, dude, what's happening, people? Get on it.
yeah,
Somebody's got to write her one.
What if how do you say her name, Sarah?
Scheherazade.
What if she makes Killian go dark in her story and goes Death Eater?
Let's message her right away.
Yes! Even if it's just like a one-off thing, like
I'm
somewhere
waiting for the Yule Ball, god
even if
damn
it's
it.
not,
Right?
even if it's
Also,
not
if
in her
it-
story.
if we're doing like crossover chit chat, I once read an amazing like Lost crossover Once Upon a Time fanfic, but it got discontinued. So if anyone could just do like a little one shot or something of Lost Island sex with Captain Swan, I would love that. Thank you very much.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna go back to my original, like, when I started reading Smut in the first place, I was a huge paranormal romance fanatic. So put them as werewolves, vampires, demons.
I was
any
literally
of that
just
kind of
about to
shit.
say we need more supernatural-esque stories.
Oh, there was
Yeah.
a really good supernatural fic. I can't remember what it's called, but it was really good. I'll come back to you guys at some point about that.
I remember the one gift set or man up or something where Emma was a witch and she awoken Killian, who was a vampire.
Oh,
That one.
like,
I think
okay,
that turned it
that's-
into a story.
that's my
If I
shit.
remember
That's
correctly.
my shit. Because I'm looking at my DVD case and I see True Blood and I'm like, okay.
There's a True Blood crossover.
So
I like
Right.
Vampire Killian. I'm here
Yeah.
for Vampire Smutty Killian.
I'm
Yeah, dude.
trying to find it
I
right
always
now.
enjoy it.
Mhm.
To find it. Once I find it, I'll link you guys. Come on.
What, the True Blood one?
Or you know what I need?
the vampire, like it's like a Twilighty one but better.
You know what I need? I need Killian.
Somehow it'd be
as
better.
Killian as an incubus, a sex demon.
I think someone wrote that. I'm
We
like
need more of it.
95. I'm like 95% sure that someone wrote it, or maybe Emma.
A
Was.
succubus?
Succubus is a girl. Incubus is a boy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know, but I think Emma. They wrote one where Emma was a succubus.
I need more of that.
I think it's out there.
I have too many saved fics. What am I doing with my life? I have like 28 pages of saved fics.
I thought I had more, but it turns out I only have like 30. I just
Jenna.
read them.
Jenna, what is your favorite trope to write?
Oh shit. Oh my god. Just like in general or just smutty tropes?
Well, okay, when you're like, boy, I really want to write something, what's like your go-to? And is it because you enjoy it the most or because it's like it comes out the best, like it's the easiest?
Oh my god. Well, I do a lot of like, in their own house. Like I love when they're finally having time to enjoy being together in their own home. Whether it leads to fluffiness or whether it leads to smut, that is what I enjoy. I just want to see them have some time alone, for fuck's sake. Saying.
Yeah, I quite
And
think
then-
that there's a lack, and maybe it's just because I'm not looking in the right places, but I feel like I want to see more canon divergence. I want to see more of things that we didn't get to see happen on the show and fill in those little spaces where we weren't given things, like especially the fact that they've been living together for how many episodes, and we've had a 2-second scene of like Henry and Hook like arguing over Pop-Tarts, like.
That's why I wrote that little smutty thing with the laundry, because I'm like, they'd be doing laundry, and it just happened to lead to smut times. Sorry about it.
Yeah, like even like deleted scenes, they've been wasteful, and it's just like, okay, you've got all this potential, and you just seem to just be wasting everything.
But the problem with like the little deleted ficlets and like the little one shots is that I want more. So I almost want someone to go back and like completely canon divergence and completely rewrite like one of the seasons, but keep it entirely focused on Captain Swan. But like you still have the plot going on in the background, like the actual plot of the show. That would be so great.
Like how the show should be.
Yeah.
Because I think Kristen, another Kristen, X, Emma Loves Killian X, that was basically her. That was Unbreakable. Just kill the season 3 canon divergence totally done.
Yeah, exactly.
But if we can take like maybe season 4 and do that, because no one really cares about season 4 as a whole.
Or can someone please continue Dark Hook?
Yes.
Oh yes.
We need more Dark Hook. I mean, I think Dark Swan and Dark Hook, they wasted so much potential there. They could have caused so much chaos, and it would have been sexy and brilliant.
I need Dark Hook and Dark Swan like smut. Like
just
is it
it's
is
there.
it just me, or like where is it hiding?
It's there.
There's a few. There's not a lot, but it's there.
I need more.
There's never enough.
Greedy AF people. I say like I need more, and then people like beg me for stuff. I'm like, I'm only one person.
Yeah, help JMO out today. Make a donation to the JMO fund.
Make it.
So next week we are going to discuss the season 6B premiere, which airs tonight.
We forgot what. Well, happy Wednesday, bitches.
And we will also be releasing our spoilers roundup mini episode for all of you that have been wanting for us to talk about spoilers for the rest of the season. And then we will be off to Vancouver. So, scheduled to be determined.
I just wanted to thank Kristen again for coming on and being just a delight.
Yes.
It was so great having her.
Thank you.
And thank you,
Thanks
Sarah,
for having me
coming
again.
on.
Yay!
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
We love when you come on for the fic episodes.
Yeah, you love it.
Yay!
Are we gonna get any new crab dip shenanigans?
I'll see what I can do.
Yes.
Crab dip smut. I'm just kidding.
Ew.
I'm just kidding.
Ugh.
Kidding.
No.
I think it's more like
May have
David.
kind of written one of that.
I think it's more like David having a relationship with the crab dip.
Oh my god. Just him
8
staring
pages of
lovingly
David
at
eating
the
crab
fire.
dip.
The great
you,
chapter he
Joe.
put out. Just eating. David eating.
I feel like people would probably like it though.
I would.
He just sits there for a whole day and just eats an entire casserole dish of crab dip, and it's just the people coming in and out of the apartment interacting with him as he eats crab dip.
He's having a bad day. He's got feelings, okay?
Yeah, like put it in his point of view.
Mary Margaret
So
comes
hard.
home and he's like sprawled along the couch with like
Yeah,
a empty
instead of
container of
drinking,
crab dip on his
he's eating
chest.
crab dip.
His like pants are unbuttoned because he's eaten too much, like after Thanksgiving.
He doesn't have
He's
pants
got a
on.
Massive food
A
baby.
live diary entry. Dear diary, my life is so hard.
I haven't seen Killian in 2 weeks.
And I haven't
me and
eaten
my
crab
crab
dip before. I'll do my best. the muse will come back to me.
Fingers crossed.
Baby, come back.
Thanks.
As always, you can like and subscribe to us on YouTube, Audio Boom, Pocket Cast, and iTunes. We are OUACS Podcast on all the social media. Everything's linked up on the WordPress website. And we will see you guys next week. Enjoy the episode.
Bye.
I don't like stories that are just about the sex. Like,
Yes.
I feel like Six did it very well to where it was like a lot about the sex, but there was still underlying like really good plot with it. When it's just like constant banging chapter after chapter, like I'll start skipping those chapters.
Like,
Because I'm just like, okay, can we move the plot along now? Like,
and then there
Especially
are
if it's the
fics that are
same-
that.
The same type of banging. Like if they're
Yeah.
having missionary sex every single chapter the same way.
Bitch,
Okay.
nah, there would have multiple positions. Come
exactly.
on now.
Like chapter 2, let's try doggy style. Chapter
Yeah.
3, let's do it against the wall. Chapter 4, let's try it on the floor. I rhymed.
Yeah.
But you know, just like
It's like
You got
Dr.
a new-
Seuss for
I was
banging.
just like, Dr. Seuss XXX.
Sarah,
Dr. Seuss
Sarah.
and Captain Swan Smut.
Sarah, would chapter 6 be suck some dick? I don't know.
Ooh. Chapter 6, get that stick. That sounds better than dick. Yeah.
Now she's thinking of more.
I'm like, Glenn rhymes with 5.
Now you gotta like write a chapter, like a multi-chapter.
You
with
just set
these
yourself
titles.
up for a new fic.
Yep. Do
Yep.
the thing.
No, I don't even have the one done. I'm working on.
You're welcome.